You are 7 years old, the first time you understand that the world outside the window is not real. Not fake in the way fairy tales are fake. Fake in the way a painting of a door is fake. It looks like somewhere you could go. It has the shape of freedom. But if you press your hand against it, you feel only the wall behind the canvas. You are sitting in a private classroom on the third floor of Ryong Song Residence, your tutor explaining the geography of a country called Switzerland, when it occurs to you that the mountains in the photograph look nothing like the mountains your father's painters put on the murals in the state buildings. In the murals, mountains are broad and dramatic, almost violent in their grandeur. In the photograph, they are just mountains, quiet and different. You ask your tutor why the difference exists, and he hesitates for exactly half a second, long enough for you to notice, young as you are, before explaining that Korean mountains are spiritually superior, shaped by the will of the Korean people. You nod. You file the hesitation away somewhere deep. That is the first thing you learn to do in this life: collect hesitations. Your father does not enter your days the way other fathers enter their children's days. He arrives. There is a difference. When he comes to the family compound, the entire staff restructures itself around the geometry of his presence before he is even in the room. You feel it as a kind of atmospheric pressure change, a tightening, a held breath distributed across every human being in the building. By the time you are 10, you can measure how close he is to any given room by watching the faces of the guards in the corridor. You become, without intending to, an expert in reading power through its effect on other people. You learn what deference looks like when it is real and what it looks like when it is performance. And you learn, slowly, carefully, that in this country, the distance between the two is the most dangerous space a person can occupy. Your childhood is not without pleasure. You have Swiss chocolates, American action films on private screening nights, Japanese video games. You have tutors who are brilliant and terrified. You have siblings who know, instinctively, never to discuss certain things even in private, because the rooms are never entirely private. The pleasure and the surveillance exist in you simultaneously, so thoroughly integrated that for years you do not feel the contradiction. You have simply always lived in a world where comfort and watching are the same thing. The shift happens the year you turn 15. Not dramatically, not all at once. It happens because your father calls you into a room where 4 senior party officials are sitting, and he introduces you to them not by name, but by function. This is who will continue the work. The men nod as though they have already processed this information, as though the meeting is confirmatory rather than revelatory. You understand, sitting there in a chair that is slightly too large for your body, that something has already been decided about your life in rooms you were not permitted to enter. The question is not whether you will carry this inheritance. The question is only how. What follows is not an education so much as an architecture. You are shown the machinery of the state in pieces, the military apparatus first, because your father believes that power without the credible threat of force is merely politics, and politics without force is theater. You sit through briefings on missile programs and nuclear deterrence, listening to generals who are careful never to make eye contact with you for more than a moment, because looking too long at the son of a god is its own kind of transgression. You learn the language of deterrence, the way threat functions as currency, the way the possibility of destruction is more useful than destruction itself, because a weapon used is a weapon spent, but a weapon feared buys leverage indefinitely.